Energy low.
Okay. So if I get these guys welded up, can end up having power. There we go. So now we have power. Okay. Oops. I want to get rid of that, and I will put in a programmable block in that's place. Yep. You mean unable to place it? I have steel plates. Oh. Because there is okay, so we'll bring in holy crap, that thing is low. Just in case I have anything else in my inventory. No, I don't. Thing is monstrous. Well, not monstrous, but it's really freaking low. So the past few hours have not been, I hadn't been recording, but I have been, actually it's been quite a few hours, I've been struggling to design the first, I don't want to call it module, but the first habitat. Well, I'll call it a habitat. And I struggled quite a bit trying to come up with a design that I liked and that was going to give me options on making it kind of a generic build that I can use in a variety of configurations internally. So what I've done is I have linked this rotor to those that array up there, and this way it will be pumping out as much oxygen as possible. It's got 4 bars, so let's take a look and see what it's 1.5 liters per minute, which is very nice. Oxygen tank is slowly filling. And the reason why I chose to do this, not only because nobody ever uses these anymore, because it's much easier to get ice and throw it into a O2H2 generator, but it seems that this moon, because it may be a custom moon, I think it is, there doesn't seem to be any ores. I mean, I didn't pick up any ores flying over here, and typically there is at least a ping or two of a particular ore. Nothing. And I'm also making the assumption now that because I didn't find any ores, most likely there's no ice. So that's why I'm going with this kind of system here. I have little red warning lights on the top. I have this conveyor tubes coming to an oxygen tank that right now is set to stockpile, because there's no reason for it to not. Two small grid solar panels using Izzy's solar alignment for all 4 rotors. Let's see here as we go inside. Actually, before I go inside, come around this side here. You can see I kind of put bars on the windows more as reinforcement because right now the windows are not 100% complete, and it isn't sealing. So I think that it's because the windows are maybe 1 or 2 pieces of glass short of actually being functional. And so that's where I'm starting to excuse me, I've been at this quite a few hours, so I'm kind of yawning right now. That is the beginnings of the landing pad. This landing pad will be large enough, quite large enough, to fit the dropship, and I'm going to make it large enough to fit maybe a dropship and a half. I'll take some measurements and I'll walk it off and then put the landing pad out here suspended. That's the one thing I did really like about the Venus. Where's that planet? Oh, it's hidden. That's right. I moved. One thing I really liked about the Venus fueling station was the way that I had used the windows to create like a safety barrier. Man, I am yawning up a storm. So I need to quick finish this so that I can go rest in the real world. So anyway, there's one entrance, and I went ahead and put this together. I had to do that trick with putting something mounted to the bottom of this one here so I could mount the stairs, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. It's a very awesome mod, and sad that the developer decided to move on, but glad that it still functions fantastic, and it looks better than the vanilla. So I have the, I don't know if I'm going to keep this like this. I might make that just a solid block, but, or windows. No reason not to have windows. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Anyway, we have a airlock, and I have a bunch of windows on the ceiling. Then we have natural light. A nice view out back here. Wait till I get that landing pad done. That'll be cool. I am short on medical components, and I'm gonna have to return to the Traveler to get stuff like that. So that's just the way it has to be. I was thinking about putting a door here, but there's no ventilation on this side, so I figured I'll just leave it open. Nice little bed with a view outside. Almost looks like we're in jail. But this battery has slowly been charging. But that's fine. As long as it's charging, that's cool. And this, well, whenever I set it to pressurize, there is no green indicator signifying that this is a sealed environment. So I'm going to make the assumption that it's the windows, because I would hate to think that I would have to grind away these blocks because that corner doesn't seal. It's very possible that that's what is going on. These blocks have always had a sealing problem. Always. And I don't know why Keen hasn't addressed it, because all the other blocks seem to seal. But hey, you know, whatever. I'm just complaining for no reason. Anyway, and there's a cargo container, a couple of lockers. And then the programmable block that is used to run the script for the solar panels. So this would be, and I'm not finished in there. I think there's some other stuff, like putting a little desk in there and stuff like that. But I'll work on that. I'll make it nice. And then the next module will look pretty well the same from the exterior, but it will have other things. Maybe it'll be the armory, or maybe it'll be the main power source for all. Well, no, I couldn't because I'm not going to connect them all. It'll be something. I don't know. I'm not going to have just one of those, I don't think. But this will be the next big challenge for me. And it's a challenge because I don't know if you may have noticed, but my hydrogen usage has increased dramatically. And that's because I have a mod that makes jetpacks unusable on planets, with the exception of getting a quick burst to get out of a hole. And I did that to really challenge myself. I typically don't use the jetpack as much as so many others. I don't fill my inventory up with hydrogen bottles and fly forever and ever and ever. I like the idea of having to deal with the fact that gravity will counteract the jetpack and make it use lots and lots and lots of hydrogen fast. So we have this huge crater here, depression, and I'm going to have to build this out far enough to accept the dropship and some. Because if my testing, which I'm going to do down here, if my testing has the result I think it's going to, the dropship is going to probably grow just a little bit. And I don't want to get too much into that because I want that to be something worth tuning in for. It's nothing fantastical, but it's still something. But yeah, I want to get this laid out, and it's not going to be right now because I am tired. Open Tide. This ship, that ship right there, comes within 1.6 kilometers of this base all the time. And I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, the fighter has a remote control block. And since it's connected to the Traveler, I should be able to connect to the Traveler, make sure that everything is set, and then remotely pilot the fighter down here. And then I could use the fighter to go after that or the gremlins that keep flying around here. That's what's weird. It's just that kind of ship and gremlins that are flying in the atmosphere. Why they would be flying in the atmosphere of the moon, I don't know, but there they are. Lots and lots of supplies for the taking. That ship is huge. I looked at it with the camera on the top of the dropship. That thing is covered with hydrogen and atmospheric thrusters from bow to stern. From port to starboard. It is huge. I'm sure that if I'm successful and I acquire that and bring it down here, it might cover over this area from that peak to where the where the dropship's at. I would not doubt that in the least. But anyway, so this is what I came up with. And aside from, you know what, aside from stuff like this, it drives me crazy. Because I'm looking at it thinking, you know what, that's just silly. So, and I have been using, I shouldn't bother to color these. Alright, I need 7 more steel plates. I shouldn't bother to color those because I really do need, there, 1.4! Look at that! It's just like taunting me. I didn't see any guns on the bottom, so I bet you it's just littered with guns on top. But, where was I? Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember because that open tide is just driving me crazy. And, you know, just let me... I doubt it. I very much doubt it. But I'm just going to wander in here and take a look. Set this to there, and... No. It's still not green. Alright, so... And I've already restarted the... game. And it didn't resolve the ceiling issue, so... I'm hoping it's just the windows, which I need to get silicon, and that's going to mean that I'm probably going to have to go check out some asteroids. I mean, there are a few that are nearby. I think those are asteroids there. There's one over there. There's a bunch up there. There's a bunch over there. And where the traveler is at, there should be a few that are right there. Oh, there's a big donut up there. But good thing is, I don't necessarily need the hydrogen thrusters on this ship to get off the planet, so I could refrain from adding ice into this. And I don't want to put ice. I don't want to put an oxygen, an O2H2 generator on that because there's no ice on the moon right now that I know of. So I need to get in here before
Energy critical.
Yes, I am on my way. Jeez. So. But this is why I have the dropship set up like it is. The dropship is a mini base with all the necessary things to keep me alive. I need to turn on the oxygen. I shut it off. There we go. I had shut it off just so that it would save. Whenever I was trying to recharge my, hydrogen. It would refuel would replenish the oxygen tank, which it does not need to be replenished. It has 99% oxygen. So, and I even, so you can see, in order to finish that, I even swiped some bulletproof glass off of the cockpit here. And see, this area is still pressurized because I think it's because that's one bulletproof glass above the functional line. I think. I don't know. Whatever. I'll deal with it later. There's something that's probably gonna make me have to redo the roof or something. I don't know. So anyway, just get where I can see this thing here. Anyway, yeah, whatever. I am a little bit tired. I really am. I've been doing this for well over 6 hours now, and that's all I got accomplished. That's it. That's it. Right there. This is why I am now down to 1 video per week. And then with YouTube's little hiccup that's affected me and a few others, it really is, I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to go to sleep, and I'll be back. Night-night. In my search to find another reason why this won't pressurize, or I should say won't seal, I discovered that I had made a small mistake. It was all my fault. That I have a block here that's not finished. And now, I want to see if that is going to resolve the situation. Okay, well, this is the first time I've seen the blue light, so that is very positive. Oh yeah, there we go. So, this is now sealed. I guess they did resolve the issue with these. Excuse the ranting before. It's my own failure. I don't know how I'm going to do the interior of this yet. I guess I'll just work at it a little bit here and there. I really do wish we could have the medieval engineers combo blocks, because it would be so nice to keep the unfinished catwalks on the outside of these windows, have these windows in place, and then be able to place a desk right against the window. I mean, that'd be pretty cool, if you ask me. But such is how it is. So I went ahead and went to the Steam Workshop and found the page for this particular moon and copied the text so that we could see what exactly the developer had in mind for this. And so, go ahead and take a look at that text. Okay, so we have the moon is the only natural satellite of Earth, and for now the only place out of Earth where humans have walked. Or human have walked. So anyway, I'm going to let you read through that, and basically the big thing that stands out to me is also no ores are in place. And the developer said that they're not sure if they're going to place any, since the moon is very poor in minerals due to how it was created. So, from a space engineer's point of view, this sucks. No ores whatsoever. I mean, I could dig up the stone and process that and get, what is it, iron? What is it? It's refinery. Gravel, iron, and nickel. See, I was trying to refine some stone a little bit because I thought I was going to get silicon from it, but no. So this moon is completely devoid of all ores. That means that the only means for me to get any ores to do anything is to mine the nearby asteroids, which I'm not opposed to, because this is, this is bordering on more realistic. It's a little more grind. And so the next challenge that I want to do
is I have, as far as I know, enough supplies to at least initiate the building of the landing pad that will overhang the crater here. And I want the landing pad to be much larger than the dropship, because I'm going to land the dropship on that when I return from the Traveler. And I'll probably spend a little time up there with the Traveler, grab the miner, go hit some asteroids in the area, collecting some ores and stuff to put into this ship. Well, maybe I have enough on board. But that also leads me to the reason why I've let those ships continue to come toward the Traveler. I'll just drop down, it's not going to hurt us. And that is because they will be a source of supply for materials and components. Probably get rid of some of this other stuff because I'm really not going to be using much of it at all. Cryo chamber, I don't need these guys, so I'm going to throw those in there. And so initially, when I reloaded this world, I received a message that said that the format had changed.
Energy low.
Really? Oh, jeez. So anyway, the energy, that the format had changed. So, Keen has slipped a little coding update, I guess. And in doing so, re-enabled the cleanup. And I didn't realize this until I loaded this save for this video, this portion of the video. And the structure that I had started creating for the landing pad no longer exists. Thankfully, though, the Challenger and the boarding vessel are still en route. Oh, that's another thing. Every time that I log out of or shut down Space Engineers, those two ships stop. And when I reload the game, they stay stopped. So, at the very beginning, unbeknownst to you, in the behind the curtain thing, I go and I teleport myself to those ships, and I set them to the velocity that they were flying immediately after I had jumped away from them. Because as it seems, even though the script is not written to do it, you saw that those two ships continued to travel towards the Traveler after I had left radio range, antenna range. So if I would have left the game running for whatever, 6 hours or what that it would take the slowest of the two to reach the moon, or at least to reach a radio signal, they would have still been en route. But since I'm not going to do that, because, well, that's that's quite a lot of time to pass of doing nothing, and I would rather... It's getting pretty dark here. Oh, that's right. This may turn into a nighttime thing. So, I have things to overcome, being that my jetpack is not going to function nearly as efficiently as the vanilla jetpack. So, I want to use this to orient this. Okay. That's one. So, I want to take a look and see. Seeing as how I don't have the information that is stored in my head, how long or how wide this ship is. Okay, so we have the center one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relative 7, 8. So that would be 17 wide. I know that, yeah, that's the small grid thing, but I think those are like 2 blocks by 1 block. So, if it's 17 wide, and I want to make this wider than that ship by a few, how much wider do I want to make it? Thinking maybe 3 on each side. So that would mean that it should be 23 wide. Let's see where that will put me. And am I still in frickin'? I am. This is when I went to go visit those ships. I'm trying to use the creative right click to get rid of that. There we go. Come on, back to there. Come on, there. Okay, so now, what is that? Super Gremlin, don't care. That's 1, 2,